Welcome back to another episode of Performance That Matters. I am Lauren Nash. I'm joined by the main host, Jordi Sullivan. Welcome to another episode together.
We're back, Loz. We're back.
Yeah, I still have PTSD from the early days when you'd put me on the spot for a very specific podcast introduction that I would sometimes practice privately before our calls.
It's funny. I don't know why people freak out so much about it, because at any time we could just stop, edit it
So
out,
true.
but we still freak out about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, today we got inundated with audience Q&As, which is good because we haven't done, podcasts very often. We live on opposite sides of the country. But before we get into them and answer a few more, I actually had a question for you. We saw each other a few months ago. Since then, we've both been busy bees. You've done 2 ultras, Surf Coast Century and Blackall. How were they? What were the main differences between them? And rate yourself out of 10 for each performance.
Amazing races. Surf Coast Century's down through the Great Ocean Road. I've never run down there. And you basically run along the beach, but then you cut back in, you go up in the trails and, come back down to one of the towns and then run back up the beach. It's, beautiful. Probably one of the funnest, loose-term fun ultras I've ever done. But that was great. Ended up finishing that just over 13 hours. I wanted to go sub 13, but the last 10Ks on the beach, I had done 0 sand running.
Rookie error,
Someone
Jordi. What was that?
They did warn me, and I had planned to go up to the beach, and I thought, nah, it's stuff, it'll be right. And oh my God, sand running is a different beast. But it was great. It was really good. Those races down south work with my body really well because top temperature was maybe 20 degrees. I think we started, it was 8 degrees, so it's quite cool. For me, I'm such a big sweater, and I think that's a function of one, genetics, and then probably I'm not the most efficient runner. I think I've just done too many other sports and maybe lift too many weights. I'm just not built for running, and I just sweat a lot. So it's really difficult for me to maintain my fluid intake. And then, as we all know, a certain point in ultras, if you're not really diligent on it and how you top up at your aid stations, there's just going to come a point where you're severely dehydrated and you have to slow down and sort it out. And that's definitely been the case for me in the past. But those cooler races, I have a lot of fun because I feel like I am running to my potential when I go down there and I go, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? I am actually half decent at this sport when I'm not drowning in my own sweat. I can keep up with my sweat rate. I can get all my fuel in. I don't think I missed I think 1 hour I missed where I didn't get over 80 grams of carbs for the hours, and then was really good on my nutrition. We have a plan where, okay, this is how much fuel and fluid you're putting in between aid stations. When you get there, you're drinking out of your Yeti, you're topping up with your train aid, so my fluids are good, and then you're eating food, and then off you go again, rinse and repeat. And it was really good, and I felt good the whole time, didn't have any problems. Went through a pretty rough patch at about 80, 85, but you're 15Ks out by that point, front loaded pretty well and felt good. And the next one that I had was Blackall 50K. And I've had a very interesting relationship with Blackall because first time I went up there, I DNF'd in the 100K and ended up in the emergency room. And that was a really big wake-up call for me on how you need to go about hydration and fueling in hot weather. Went back 12 months later and got through that race, and it was really, really tough, but also somewhat inspiring for me because, yes, athletically it was great to get through it, but then I had this major breakthrough with pretty much led to all my work now around electrolytes and hydration. And why we talk about it so much is, there's a different game plan when you're this type of person that sweats a lot and you can only get in this much fluid. You're treating a completely different problem. This year at Blackall, I only did the 50K. Pretty fit. I've had a pretty consistent 12 months of training. So in my mind, I'm going out there and I'm running, okay, we're doing 5 hours to maybe 5 hours 20 for this. I'm really sending it. I'm used to this course. Ended up doing about 6:30. Was ahead of my schedule up until 35Ks. So was well ahead schedule, running really well. At 35Ks, also aligned to the hottest part of the day. And the sun is my kryptonite. And it's just, I've just learned I don't think I can physically do anything more. And I'm trying cooling strategies. We've got new supplements that I don't even want to talk about because people would be like, that's so fringe and weird that I'm trying to experiment with to hyperhydrate, to get more fluid in, to hold more fluid. I'm such a big sweater when it comes to those hot parts there. I've just come to the realization that if you try to run this hard, you're going to run yourself into the ground. So there was probably a good 90 minutes there where I really slowed down, where I probably covered half the distance of what I should have covered, purely on a fact of, oh man, I'm so hot, I'm overheating, but I'm manageable where I'm at right now. If I keep going, this is not going to end well. So I just had to pull it back, and
Yep.
I've done that dance many times now. So I'm a bit older, a bit wiser.
Yeah.
Cool down at the aid station, get more fluid in, keep the work rate down. Once it cooled down, we hit some more shady spots. Okay, now you can get running again. So finish that one. But it was an awesome race. Like, again, it was good. I love going up there. It just goes to show when you're running ultras, if you're running a cool ultra, that's a completely different strategy to when you're doing hot and humid ultras. That's almost not a different sport, but pretty close to it. And definitely a different sport in terms of your fueling and hydration.
Yeah, definitely. And I really appreciate and respect that you know before you even get to this race, hey, this is going to be challenging for me. But what I'm hearing is what a great excuse for you to travel, to race, to find a cooler climate.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm thinking now, is that all the races I'm looking at now, I go, okay, where's the equator? How do I go super south of it?
Maybe Surely there's a race in
I
Antarctica
was
that
gonna
you
say,
could sign up for.
I'm pretty sure there's a marathon in Antarctica.
Yeah, the ice marathon or something. That'd be pretty cool. I'll come and crew you just because I'd love to go to Antarctica.
Yeah, you know what I've done? Lots of running in Canada. I've done a marathon in Canada in the snow, and it's just as difficult on the other end. Like when you're extremely cold, it's just as much problems. But Loz, we've only got a couple minutes because you've actually got to duck off and do some actual work.
I know. Client work
We've
calls.
got 2 minutes. Give us a rundown. You did Perth Mara.
I did.
Second time.
Second time. Look, I said I was never going to do Perth Marathon again because as a dietitian, I was appalled at the terrible aid station frequency. And, you don't even get a shirt or a bag or a water bottle. Like, I see people doing Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne Marathon. They get all the merch. And, I mean, you're still paying almost $200 for a ticket. Anyway, non-nutrition related, but super happy. I got a 13-minute PB, so I did 3 hours 43, which for me, I was like so stoked with. Nutrition went really well. The only thing I kind of regret is I had a nerd belt on, and I think it just didn't fit my body very well because it was just bouncing the whole time. But totally fine. I pretty much stuck to the game plan. 2 like 300ml bottles of carb electrolyte mix to start with. Kind of got through those in the first 2 hours with some water from every aid station. A Morton gel every 30 minutes. And I was going to have my first caffeine gel, I think around the 20K mark, but I was feeling so good. I pushed that out until about 30Ks and then had another caffeine gel, maybe around 35. Honestly, I was feeling pretty good. Obviously, when you get to 30Ks, right, it starts getting hard. But yeah, I was feeling great. I think I got to maybe 39Ks and I was just fading rapidly. And I thought, it's almost the end. I don't need another gel. But then I thought, no, Lauren, snap out of it. I had my last gel that I had in my pouch. And it was almost instant. I just immediately picked up, pace just picked up, and I just, kind of sprinted as fast as I could until the end. And I know, look, it's all relative. I mean, I get embarrassed because I work with people, chasing 2 hour 30 marathons, and I think, wow, what I do is so crap compared to them. But, we've got to run in our own lanes. And I was pretty stoked with it. Went well, no complaints. If anything, I feel like I could probably start pushing the frequency of carbs during the race because I felt great, had really good energy. But now that I'm getting a lot more comfortable with the running specific fueling, I reckon I could probably get to a point where I'm almost doing an extra 20, 25 grams of carbs per hour. So next year, who knows, maybe I'll do Perth Marathon again. But I'd love to see where I can even take it with my fueling because it went well, no problems. But I think I'm at a point now where I can even push that limit a bit further.
Yeah, marathon fueling's interesting. Hey, when we bring on clients, completely separate these now where there's a strategy for half marathon. Marathon, I think, is a completely entity on itself. And then the ultra marathons are their own thing. So, yeah. Anyway, Loz is going to skip out, and we're going to do the first time ever in this podcast. Get producer Josh, because he's sitting here. He's going to come in. Round of applause. Yeah. Josh is coming in.
I'll add that sound effect in.
So Josh is jumping on Performance That Matters podcast. He's the guy that produces behind the camera, does all the editing for us, makes good. And you know what? We're doing a Q&A. So why not just do a true blue Q&A and just throw out questions? Because Josh, you have questions about nutrition. Throw them at me. Josh, give people a little bit of background. You're in Perth.
Yeah, I live in Perth. I've owned this studio for about 2 years. 2023, I think we opened. But the podcast space is probably only a year old. But it's been really good, really enjoying it. But yeah, it's been interesting being involved with you guys, learning a lot. Not that I'm a fighter or a runner or anything, but I've actually did start running after that first podcast we did. I mean, I've done it before, but I think it just gets you quite motivated, seeing other people quite motivated.
Yeah, just get up and run through a roll. Well, talk us through it. So Josh, and tradie by trade originally, right?
Yeah, electrician. Yeah.
Talk to us about that because I take on quite a few clients, to be honest, that work in the trade world, and they're interesting to work with because I classify them as a different type of athlete. A lot of our, I wouldn't say professional athletes, they're not quite full-time yet when you're making that journey through there. A lot of them are working. They're electricians, plumbers, builders, concreters. They're out in the mines doing whatever. they've still got to get up and train in the morning. They pack their esky, they go to work, and then they're training again at night.
Yeah.
It's a whole different type of entity. Talk to us about what's it like. Well, any questions that you guys have? What are some of the like misconceptions or something, anything that I can shed light on when you're on a job site, you're trying to work, you're trying to eat healthy, because it is a wild, wild west out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, I've done a lot of stuff like residential, commercial. Residential is probably one of the hardest just because you don't know whether you're going to have a microwave, so you don't know what to pack for lunch. I'd go a whole day without eating, really, just because I had so much work to do. And when I did solo was probably when I was probably the most depleted when working, because you're like on a roof in the sun, holding these hot panels, putting them on. Like time's a factor with solar as well. So yeah, really just. But then I've done FIFO as well. So I did that for 2 years, like casually. But like there's probably where I put the most weight on, just because there's so much food. Like they have but it's not good food. Like it's processed. How they get it up there, I don't know. But it's you just have all this food in front of you, almost like too much. So I found it really hard to sort of portion control a bit over there. But then it's like energy, I guess, after work is like, I guess that sort of comes from what you're eating during the day, or
For sure. My brother runs a roofing company over
Yeah,
here.
right.
And so me and him had this conversation because he worked with my brother-in-law as well. They have this company and they work super hard. They work super hard at super long hours in the sun, right? And this is the first thing they said to me, that, man, hey, I'm up in the roof. I can't physically eat. Like, we're so busy. I can't get on. I go, well, we need to break this down then, because at the end of the day, you're burning 4 times more calories than what the average desk jockey is doing.
Yeah,
And it's crazy
exactly.
because I didn't realize that until I said, let me come out to the site and have a look at what you're doing. And it's so physically tough. You're
It is,
basically
yeah.
doing a workout for 8 to 10, sometimes 12 hours of your day.
Yep.
Like crazy tough. So that,
Yep.
and it maybe not 4 times, let's say 2, maybe 2 times more than what the average person.
Yeah.
So what we got them to do is every morning they just have a routine. And I saw my brother still doing it when I'm staying here. Wake up, you've got to hydrate first, because if
Yeah.
you're sweating, you can't start low. And this is one of the big things that tradies do that kind of drives me a little insane. I do get it from the energy point, but you're trying to put a Band-Aid on a problem without fixing the problem. It's just
Yeah.
smash energy drinks or heaps
Yeah,
of
that's
coffee
it's
when you
common
wake up,
misconception,
because
like, yeah.
that's purely a fact of you're just underfueling all these days. And then so when you wake up the next day, you're still in the ditch to yourself.
Yep.
And then you're trying to put the Band-Aid on with the energy drinks. So first thing, wake up, drink water, drink electrolytes. To the point, I say to my brother, and to the point, you're doing at least 2 to 3 clear peas before you leave the apartment, before
True.
you go to the job site.
Yeah, okay.
That's where you know you're going to be more hydrated. And we do this with athletes all the time. We call it hyperhydration.
Yep.
Where we know, okay, your body's probably going to pee it all out, but what you can do, at least and we know it lasts about 3 to 4 hours, which is half the workday. Put a good amount of electrolytes, like you can get those really concentrated packs of sodium.
Oh, yeah.
Put them in a 1 liter bottle and drink that, and then keep sipping, and then have your coffee.
Yeah.
And the reason you
okay.
say that is then you're going to the job site, you're hydrated. So that's one. Make
Yeah.
sure you pack, and to make sure you pack a lunch. That's fine in theory to go, okay, yeah, I'll just pack what I pack, do whatever. It's like you've got to have it in the fridge.
Yeah.
You've got to have it in
Yeah.
the fridge to pack it, because otherwise you're just going to go out on the job site. You're going to go
Yeah.
get smoko.
Well, yeah, it's the quickest and easiest things like Subway or takeaway. You know what I mean? It's just like you don't have time. If you don't pack lunch, then you just waste time and money on getting fast food.
Yeah, pack it Sunday. That was always a non-negotiable with the
Yep.
guys. Is you need to either order your food, you get like a Marley spoon and you cook everything up,
Yep,
or you get
yep.
like a meal prep, or you go out and you do a big shop and you put 2 to 3 hours aside on your Sunday. I say have a beer while you're doing it. Make it
Yeah,
fun. Do something
yep.
that's enjoyable. Listen to a podcast, but you've got to do it, because if you don't have it in the fridge, you're not going to eat it.
Yeah,
But do
exactly.
things and do meal prep where it's just grab and go.
Yep.
So it's not like you're sitting there making your bacon and eggs every single
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we do a lot where it's okay, we do these bacon and egg wraps that you can meal prep for 5 days of the week. And
Yep.
so we can do 2 of them every morning. So you've got your hydration and you got your electrolytes in, you got your caffeine, so you're feeling good. But then you've also got this, have one in the car, one as soon as you get to the job site. You've got a good amount of fluid in, you've got a good amount of calories. Even if you don't get a break till smoko, you've still got a good amount in there.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard as well, like, because a lot of traders get up really early. And, like, you know, when you get up, I don't know if it's you as well, probably everyone, but, like, you don't feel like eating or even drinking water. Like, you get up and you just, like, a lot of tradies, and what I used to do is just not have breakfast. And, like, that's okay probably if you got a desk job that I do now. But, like, back then, you'd be gone by like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And
And
just
same conversation we have with the athletes, because a lot of the athletes wake up early, go, I don't want to eat before I go to this 2-hour training session. And I go, yeah, neither do I. Neither does any other athlete that I've ever worked with.
yeah.
But the difference is you can get through it. Same as you can get through the work day, but at what cost?
Yeah,
That's what I say.
exactly.
At what cost? And that's what I say to all the tradies, like all the guys. And this is the convo I had with my brother. At what cost? Because you'll do it, but then, and you might do it Monday, might do it Tuesday, but then you crash really hard Wednesday and then Thursday, Friday. And no wonder when you finish work on Friday, you want to go to the pub and you want to drink heaps and you want to binge eat. Yes, you've got a tough job. How much of that, though, is just because you're in the ditch? You're in this big calorie ditch, but then your body's going, hey, I want those calories, so let's just go do this. And it creates this crazy cycle. But just putting some structure around it. It does work, though. That's the thing. It does work. It's just no one talks about it. No one gives people options. Like, you need to have easy to make options. It's got to be quick. It's got to be easy. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Like, that's the thing. Is like, you don't want to, like, no one wants to eat.
It's just got to be something.
Yeah, no one wants to eat Michelin star. Well, not when you're like hauling balls on a job site and throwing around. It's like, it's just got to be practical. Got to do it Sunday. You got to make quick, easy meals. Even if you eat early in the morning, but load up and then smoko, take another opportunity, even if it's something fast. Like we always say, even if you're doing a protein shake, make it better. Like do a protein shake, get a mass gainer, it has more calories in there, or get a protein shake, add some carbs in there. There's really good supplements you can get now that have protein, carbs, fiber, all in one. You just mix it up, boom, and then you have that. It's taken a whole 2 minutes out of your day and you can get back to work.
Yeah.
But at least you put calories in. It's not a monster. It's not an energy drink where you're getting just a little buzz that's going to have a crash. At least you've got that. And it's just all about being prepared.
Yeah, exactly. And I've transitioned to the office now. So now I have like almost the opposite effect of like not burning anything really. Like to the point where like some lunchtimes I'll just go for a 2-kilometer walk or something, just because you're stuck in an office. And like I used to do, 15,000 steps or 20,000 a day as a tradie, and now I probably do like 4,000 or 5,000 at best. So it's just like trying to work that out as well, and also trying to not eat too much as well, because you almost get bored and just eat.
Yeah. Biggest problem we see, so we do lots of corporate guys, lots of CEOs. I call it the tea room tantrums. And I think it's one of the biggest problems when we look at workspace culture is when you go into a tea room, what food's on offer.
Yeah, true.
Biscuits, cake, and that's easily there, right? And then we know one of the easiest things you can do just from a satiety point of view, and this is an example I always use with our clients. I say, hey, remember Sizzler when we were kids? Sizzler when you go there with the cheesy garlic bread and you got the pasta bar and everything. You go into Sizzler, how many people do you know just ate unlimited cheesy garlic bread, would just rail the pasta, would just keep going, and you'd keep going back until physically your stomach was so bloated that how many people do you know just went to the toilet and threw up?
Oh, yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
But
Or
then
you
you
feel
go,
sick for hours
and you go,
afterwards.
okay, well, how many times have you gone to a nice steak restaurant and ordered a second steak?
Yeah, true.
You don't. And the
No.
reason you do that is because it's a different physiological response in terms of appetite when you're eating foods that are just plain carbs that are very easy and not as satiating to get down. What's happening is you're putting so much in, and you're physically, what's telling you to stop eating is your stomach swelling up.
Yeah.
And there's receptors in your stomach
So
that
is that
say,
what it is? Is
that
it?
say, hey, Josh, stop eating. Like, this is going to pop. And
Yeah.
that's when you stop. But it's
Yeah.
only when you get to that point.
Yeah.
When you eat, say, a protein heavy meal and you take your time like you do at a steak restaurant where you sit down and you chat, there's a 15-minute delay where your stomach releases a hormone, goes into your brain, then you go, hey, Josh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah.
And this is why I say these tea rooms are not set up in a way, because you go in there, you're rushed.
Yeah.
So you don't get to sit down and have a meal where you allow these hormones to kick in. And then the options are the least satiating options you can possibly have.
Yeah.
And again, this just comes back to, one, do you understand that? So do you know what problem you're tackling?
Mm.
And then are you prepared? So when you go into that environment, okay, I'm going to be good. And what I often say is so easy. Keep a protein shake on your desk. If you know you're going to have a break at 10 o'clock, at 9:30, have your protein shake.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get in there, that's already kicked over.
Okay.
And now I'm not looking at these teas and the Arnott biscuits going, oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so famished. I'm just going to smash these.
Yeah.
You've kind of kicked over and you can make a better decision. And if you prepped tuna, banana, crackers, and a bit of fruit or whatever else with a couple nuts, that looks a lot more appealing because you're not in that, oh my God, I'm ravished, I need to eat.
And then usually if I have lunch as spag bol or something, and then afterwards it makes sense because you just feel so full. But obviously from not eating to like eating fast, That's probably why it's bad to eat fast, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And what you're probably experiencing too is like the big up and then the down with the blood sugars, which will happen no matter what you
Yeah.
eat. But the problem is when you allow your stomach to dictate how much you're eating, there's obviously going to be a way bigger response. And again, so if you're having a more balanced meal where you're getting good vegetables, you're getting, protein in, you're slowing that response down. And so you're not getting these big rises in blood glucose and then you're dropping down. That's what the 3 p.m. crash, one of the most easily avoidable things that you can do if you just stay hydrated throughout the day and you make good choices around your tea time and your lunchtime. You can avoid that 3 p.m. crash.
Yep.
And people will say, oh, it's so game changing. Like, this is amazing. You go, and it's just like basic
It's
physiology.
just a tiny little thing you can change.
Yeah.
I was going to ask as well, when I was thought about it, like, what's your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
I love it if you aren't a full-time athlete that has to train different times throughout the day.
Yep.
I think if you're an athlete and you say have to wake up and you have to do a 2-3 hour training session, you have to go home and rest and then you have to train again. I don't really see how intermittent fasting works in that system that allows you to properly fuel your body.
Yep.
The problem, I guess, with that statement is that 99% of people aren't professional athletes that do that as their life.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like when, especially dietitians say, oh, fasting sucks. No, fasting doesn't suck. Fasting is a great tool to help control a system where it's quite difficult to control.
Yep.
And what I say by that is that really what most people are doing fasting for, yes, there's some people who do it for the health and longevity and whatever. Most of the time it's for weight loss. And it's for better body composition.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been thinking of doing. I do it. It's hard to stick to sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I find, like, if I were to do it and I was still, like, doing a training session, like a group training session at 5:30 for, like, 45 minutes, is it still okay to do it? Like intermittent fast, because obviously I won't be eating during that time or before and probably like a couple hours after.
Depending what your goals are with the session, right? Because I guess a couple of things there is that if your goal is for the fasting is to lose weight, you need to control your calorie intake.
Yep.
So that's what you need to get right. No matter which way you do it, no matter if you put all the calories at the start of the day, then fast all through the night, whether you do the opposite of that or whether you have regular meals, at the end of the day, total amount of calories that you have is what's going to determine the weight loss. There's lots of other things. Those different types of eating will affect lots of other things in your body, your mood. It could affect other health factors, other metabolic factors. But just in terms of body composition and weight loss, total calories.
Yeah.
So it's figuring out what a system is there. A common misconception is, though, if I do that session fasted, am I going to burn more fat? We know pretty clearly. So if you do that session, you do metabolize and your body uses more fat to get you through that session. But that's just because you don't have anything in there. But then what happens is you go into what we call a fat deficit. And then whenever our body goes down here, it wants to bring it back up here. So we find people who do fasted training in the morning tend to overeat more throughout the day. So even when you get out of that fasted period, you're probably going to eat, and it might not be much, but 400 or 500 calories. If you stack that 5, 6, 7 days a week, that adds up. And that all of a sudden kicks you out of your deficit where all of a sudden I've been doing this fasted workouts. The workouts are 45 minutes. They're hard and I'm still not losing weight. And you go, well, maybe, and this happens quite a lot, let's just have a English muffin, a little bit of peanut butter, half a banana on there. You go in there and you've actually got more energy for that session and you're not as hungry afterwards. But then go back to your fasting after that. And then you genuinely find with those guys, hey, I'm not as starving once it comes to that time where I can eat. So it's all about setting up a system where you can control those calories coming in. Fasting is a great tool to do that, but you need to understand what you're doing. How many calories am I getting in? Where are those calories coming from? Am I eating in a way that supports my goals? Am I trying to just dead lose fat and then I end up maybe not with the body composition I want? Do I want to lose fat?
Lose muscles if you don't have enough
Exactly
protein,
right. And that's a big problem. We know if you want to maintain muscle, you've got to have by the end of the day a certain amount of protein. But what do you want to do when you finish fasting? You just want to eat whatever you see. It's not like you're going, oh, I'm going to have this protein smoothie. I'm going to have a steak with veggies. It's like, I'm just going to gouge down everything.
Well, there's a lot of ads that I've seen. They'll probably pop up now. I'm talking about it. But like they say, like, if you do that like 16 hours or 14 hours of fasting, like you can eat whatever you want. Like, is that true or?
I mean, this is the problem, right? You might be able to.
Yeah.
But again,
per person,
do you eat whatever you want? I guess a good way to think about this, I had this athlete, world champion Muay Thai fighter, ended up training with Israel Adesanya.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. One of Australia's best combat sports athlete. runs an amazing gym south of Brisbane. When I first started working with him, he was one of my first clients. Bone shredded, just great shape. But just came to me, man, my energy levels are terrible. Like I can't sleep well. My digestion's off. And I went down. I went, can I just like watch you for a day?
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I guess. I was like, I just want to observe and just see what you're doing. I'll just stand there. I won't do anything. Just and please do your day as normal.
Yeah.
Went in there. Guy gets up, goes for a run, goes to his training session, does 2-3 hours, and then he goes back. He's running a gym as well, so he does some admin work. He has a nap, and then he goes back for this afternoon session. And he's hitting pads, he's throwing some weights around, and then he's coaching. And then through that whole day, so that whole 12-14 period, doesn't eat a thing.
Really?
Doesn't eat a thing.
Jeez.
Then he gets to the end of the day and he just eats this. And it's not like he's binging on anything. He's making this crazy smoothie which has berries and fruit and honey and milk and all, protein powder. Then he's having this lovely like steak, veggie. So all good food, but a crazy amount. But he's getting all his calories in at one hit. He's done this crazy day of training and he looks great. Like he's in great shape. But then he's coming to me saying, I've got a world title fight and I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I know my training's not at the level it should be.
Yeah.
I've got my energies all over the place. And I just feel crap. And I went and got his bloods tested. Like his testosterone was down, thyroid was down because he's putting so many calories in. Your body can only digest so much in one go.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah.
And then all these periods where his body's like, I need fuel. I'm doing this crazy stuff. I need fuel. He's not putting it in.
Yeah.
And so it's very similar when you go, okay, does it matter when I eat? Can I just eat whatever I want? Yeah, maybe. But this guy's in that position, training 4, 5, 6 hours a day and eating this insanely, quote unquote, healthy meal at the end. And he's still in that position. But what about us mere mortals who aren't doing that are just doing a 45-minute session and sitting at the desk all day?
Yeah.
Does that mean that we can just eat whatever at the end and we're all good?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. I think you're probably more wise to go, like, if I'm having a 45-minute session, to get the most out of that session, eat around it.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? If I'm comfortable enough to fast throughout this period and whatever, if I'm not, maybe I just put a protein shake in the middle and then let's eat this good food when we get home. We'll have a dinner. Then overall, what's that look like in a day?
Yeah.
Are you in your calorie deficit? Did you get good protein? Did you hit your micronutrients? Did you have your fiber? You're probably going to feel good.
Yeah.
And I guarantee the person that comes home and says, I can just eat whatever I want, probably not going to feel that great.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, nice.
What else? Throw another question at me, Josh. Let's think. Like, what's one of the biggest nutrition problems, say you see like on the job sites?
I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't been there for a while, but nutrition problems, as in like
what is something like if you're coming like I'm thinking of the old boys on the job site.
Yeah.
What is a typical old fella on the job site eating?
They're just smoking.
Yeah, big.
But yeah, you're right. I think like the biggest problem I see is probably not enough eating. Would be what I like. Those old boys would probably have it down pat because they've been doing it for 30 years,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just like not eating enough.
Yeah.
Throughout the day and just doing too much work.
I feel like that culture is changing. I feel like the tradie
definitely,
culture is definitely changing because there's so many guys now that realize if I do prep it and I have this big thing of like oats that I keep in my esky and like, and you got a ute. Like I bought a ute a year ago and you can deck it out and I've got like a fridge that keeps everything cold. Like, I've basically got a mini hotel in the back of my ute.
That's true. A lot of tradies would have that now.
Yeah, so it's like I go out to the bush and I'm there for 6 hours. I do loops around my car and it's better than when I'm running a race with full planned aid stations. I've got like a full buffet in there. I've got cold drinks. I've got like warm food that I can heat up. It's insane. It's all just in the back of my ute.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I think it is changing. Like, the older boys used to just, focus on that and then just drink. And I feel like that kind of drinking culture in the tradie industry is changing as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot more health orientated.
Yeah,
which is good to see.
Have you found the transition from going on a job site then to the office?
It's actually been like really hard.
Really?
Mainly just energy levels because I'm not moving as much. Like I used to go through the day way better just because I'd be constantly moving, like walking to the job site, doing certain work back, and there'd be a bit of downtime. But for this, from going from that to like basically just sitting at a desk and just like working out, like even if you're eating and having coffee and doing all the right things, you still get tired just because you're not moving. So that's the thing I'm trying to balance is like even if I don't need to go to the toilet, just walk down the stairs and back up again.
Yeah, two things I find with our corporate guys do that. Blood flow is a big thing. Blood
Yeah.
flow is by far one of the best things. Like I used to do it when I started my businesses, my business partner, and we all started doing it in meetings where I just drop down and do 10 push-ups. It's like,
Yeah,
especially
true.
if someone just yawned and they're like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? It's like blood flow is a real thing. It's like
Yeah.
even moving your body. That's why you feel so good after exercise. Like your
Yeah.
body releases all those quote unquote happy hormones.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of exercise snacks or exercise bites?
No.
It's a big concept out of the US. Take it with a grain of salt, but basically what it says is just getting up throughout the day and doing, okay, can I do 15 seconds of an exercise snack?
Oh,
Walk
yeah.
up and down, and can I do that 3, 4, 5 times?
Yeah.
And it does work.
Yeah.
And they've done research on it, and just mental health, productivity makes
Yeah.
a big difference.
Yeah.
That's one part of it, is movement matters. And then the other part is we don't appreciate when you're sitting down, you're looking at a screen, you're going, your brain is turning over a lot of glucose. Like it takes a lot of energy to sit down and think and be really, really intensely focused.
Yeah.
Minimum a day just to keep that thing going is 120 grams,
Yeah.
which is a foot long and a half subway
True.
just to keep your brain going.
Yep.
So then if we're not eating properly throughout the day, we're not fueling that, and then that's going under. You go, no wonder we're not moving. No wonder we're
Yeah.
feeling fatigued. No wonder
Yeah.
we're feeling like sluggish. And by the time we get to 3 p.m., we're like, oh God, I got to eat everything
Yeah.
inside.
Like 2 or 3 o'clock, like I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like I think I just got back from Melbourne for a couple of weeks, and I was obviously moving, doing a lot, and then since I've been back, I've been struggling. Like at like 2 o'clock, I could possibly fall asleep at the desk if I wanted to.
Yeah. Movement bites.
Yeah.
Awesome. Structured plan. Hydrate throughout the day. That's one of the easiest things you can do, not just with coffee. Get
Yep.
water, get other
Yep.
fluids in you. And then, try that. Make sure that you're getting at your main meals when you're doing your morning snack and lunch. Try that with the protein shake beforehand.
Yeah.
And you get that
I've
structure
never
in.
delved into
And then you
protein.
don't, and it really does balance out that blood glucose.
Yeah,
Give it a
true.
try for a week.
I will.
Report back, and
I
then
will.
maybe you'll go, you know what, none of that worked.
Yeah.
Get out of my podcast
Yeah.
studio. You guys are never coming back in.
Yeah.
But Loz is back in. So, Josh, let's wrap up
Yeah,
this
we'll
episode.
wrap up.
I think that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, sweet.
That's a pretty cool, and we'll jump back into the Q&As.